What's going on, everybody? Eric Lindquist at Stochastic here on the Odd Shopper channel, coming to you with another edition of Lindy's Leans, Likes, and Locks in the NBA playoff streets. Hit that like button, subscribe button, notification bell. Goes a long way for me on this video, goes a long way for you. That way you become a prize whenever great content is going live here at our little neck of the YouTube woods. Jalen Brunson just went to the locker room with a hand injury, so I don't know what's going on there. We're midway through the second quarter, so not a whole lot to report other than Obi Toppin is absolutely on fire, and OG Anunoby, the leading scorer for the Knicks here at the moment. Hopefully Dante DiVincenzo can get back on the floor and do some stuff for us. That would be useful. But BetMGM, they're pretty darn useful. Again, we had the one game there, ended up throwing that together. Didn't go nuts with that at all. Hopefully you didn't either, because, well, we've been on a really, really good run here in the NBA playoff streets. You know it. You'll love it. We got two games now to choose from here. And I got some locks for you. Yeah, well, I got one lock for you. That's the right way of looking at it. But if you guys want to sign up for OddsShopper and jump in and get my premium, my premium betting card any Monday through Friday, be it in the NBA. If you have questions, you hit me up. I'm going back and forth in there. But MLB is getting posted nonstop religiously, and it's been awesome. $14.95 weekly, $49.95 monthly. And if you use promo code Lindy, 20% off. That becomes $12 for your first week. Not only do you get the Discord, but you also get the positive EV tool. You get the premium betting tools. Everything that we have available to you at OddsShopper will be yours for that week for just less than $2 a day. Less than $2 a day for that. So sign up. Hopefully see you there. And with that, let's get to the picks. Oh, would you look at that? It's 13.5. I should move my microphone closer as I explain. 13.5-point dogs are the Cleveland Cavaliers. What do we get? Oh, yeah, 11.5 for that lock the other day. That felt pretty good, didn't it? Yeah. What silly lines are showing up here in the NBA? Now, it's strange because normally I preach caution come to this time of season. It's like, do I keep doing the NBA videos? And you know what? Every single time I look at the board, I feel like I'm going crazy because we've been jamming Minnesota. We've been jamming a lot of this Boston more so than the Minnesota side. Now, can we jam them at 13.5? Let's have a conversation and a little come to Jesus moment, if you will, or whoever your higher power might be. But Cleveland going into Boston yet again for game two. We saw a very lopsided affair in that first round, even without Kristaps Porzingis. Shocker. Thought it wouldn't matter, and guess what? It did not matter. And it's a bit of a bummer because Donovan Mitchell went completely ballistic. It was a pretty special game from him. And if you can't get that game to go your way, you're probably having some tough sledding ahead of you, considering, well, I don't even think Jason Tatum played that well. I know producer Jacob really thinks Jason Tatum played worse, but I wouldn't go that far. It was 120-95, 25-point comfortable win. Kind of kept in check there throughout the first half. Kind of. And they were still up 9 going into, up 11 going into the break. But then they just got that crazy separation, the 5 and 10, and then they won the fourth quarter by 10. It just got really, really wonky there towards the ends. But Jason Tatum, 35 minutes, 18 points, 11 rebounds, 5 assists. Didn't have to do a whole heck of a lot because it was Jaylen Brown night. He looked sublime, 32 points, 6 rebounds, 2 assists to go with it. But I repeat, Donovan Mitchell, 33 points, 6 rebounds, 5 assists for him, 12 for 25 from the field on Derek White and Drew Holiday. That's a good game that you kind of want to be competitive in. I'm not saying you have to win it, but if you're not competitive there, I really worry about what happens with Cleveland. And yet again, you got Mr. Jared Allen on the injury report. Did not end up playing in that game one. That freaks me out a little bit. That makes me a little bit freaky. Don't you think? Yeah. I'm a little bit freaked out by it too. Just throwing it out there. Just feel bad for the guy. And speaking of which, let's begin our prop talk here because, God, you know what's coming in the like section. Well, it's normally been a lock. It's now a like because of the 2-point adjustment, and we'll get to all of that. But we're going to go Evan Mobley here, friends, under 10.5 rebounds. This is something where eventually Jared Allen is going to play basketball. I'm just not confident in when that is. It's a rib contusion, a really strange injury that I tried to do some research to find out what is going on. It sounds like movement might be difficult for him to breathe in. Cardiovascular, you kind of need that to play professional basketball. So seems a little important, I guess, for some guys. I mean, Luka and Jokic look like they're playing in slow motion. Let me just repeat. They're in a lot better shape than I think you think they are. Just saying. Evan Mobley, 10.5 rebounds. I think I would, if I knew Jared Allen was playing, we've seen this at 8.5 in that Orlando series. Now, Boston, a little bit more pace, a little bit more. Al Horford in the middle. They really need Jared Allen out on that floor. And that is what freaks me out about making this a lock. We're going to go to Boston, minus 13.5 here. They're 5-1, friends. 5-1. Oh, Jalen Brunson questionable to return with a foot injury. Oh, darling. I need to try to do something. Let's take a look at some. Oh, nope, they're off the board. Good talk. Glad we had it. But Boston, minus 13.5 here. If Jared Allen plays, I got to think that number comes down a little bit. He's such an important piece because you can take Evan Mobley. You can move him on to Tatum a little bit at times, even if you don't laterally want to have that exactly out there. You have Max Strus, Isaac Okoro that can help out and do those type of things. You can make Evan Mobley a roamer. You can have Jared Allen kind of be that steady Eddie in the paint there. But without him, toast. And again, this is what I'm leaning towards. I'm saying I don't know what's going on with Jared Allen to the point where I think you have to favor him to be out for the game 2. We'll find out with shoot around tomorrow, but I would be bummed out to lock this and make this a full unit send. First time I have to show a little bit of restraint here on the Boston side, purely because of injury speculation. And it wouldn't shock me if with Jared Allen and they still get completely hammered. Let's be serious. Boston, number 1 in adjusted offensive rating, 2nd in adjusted defensive rating. But this is the play I'm the most confident about here because we saw 25 shot attempts, only 5 free throws here. Boston's playing really good defense on Donovan Mitchell, and Donovan Mitchell shot the ball pretty well relative to what my expectations were. Now, as a team, they shot at 26.2% from 3. A little bit better than that, a lot a bit better than that for Donovan Mitchell there. 4 for 11 from 3, 12 for 25 from the field. Is it going to get any easier than that? I don't think so. 33 points from Donovan Mitchell, and now this adjusts from 26.5, 27.5 to 29.5 I see in the marketplace. It's minus 110 with our friends at BetMGM. Under. Lock Donovan Mitchell. You think Boston doesn't get to make adjustments in this one too? There were a couple of roaming issues that they had. Derek White, obviously, I think you're going to see a lot of Drew Holiday back and forth between these two individuals, but Cleveland needs to find something like Donovan Mitchell is going to get his, but this is a gigantic number here. They need to get other guys involved, and Boston gets to make adjustments too. So they're going to be able to play better defense, I think, the second time around for a 2-3-point adjustment to show up on Mitchell. I kept him around 25, same spot that I had him for the last game. Again, I didn't bet an over or an under. It was 26.5 most of the day, 27.5. I think it was at the very, very end of it, but at 25 points, I get an almost 5-point disparity on an under come playoff time. That's a full unit for me. Under for Donovan Mitchell tomorrow. Let's talk BetMGM. Again, they have that best line for Donovan Mitchell, but generally speaking, when you get these massive promotions from the sportsbooks and you're getting bonus bets back in them, you want to take some large plus money shots. Now, I'm not saying bet Cleveland money line. I'm not saying that. We did see a game 2 Miami Heat W, though, for what it's worth, at plus 700 over at BetMGM. Just throwing it out there, but very, very unlikely scenario there, but you want to find one of those big plus monies potentially in the baseball streets or elsewhere, and you want to be firing it up at the link below. Again, great opportunity for you to take a big shot, whatever that means to you. If it's $20, $50, $75, $100, whatever that might be, up to $1,500. That is going to come back to your account in bonus bets if that first bet you make when you deposit at the link below goes up over at MGM. So yeah, if that first bet doesn't hit, get those back in bonus bets at that same amount. No questions asked. Only if you're 21 and over. If you have a gambling problem, please call 1-800-GAMBLER. Back to the picks. We got one more game. Let's talk game 2, Dallas OKC. I should probably not say that when I'm switching over to the game, because then I have to say it again. We've got game 2 of Dallas and OKC. We got a 218.5 total here in this one. We've got Luka Doncic not playing very good basketball there in that game 2. I think that was the very obvious deal that showed up to me. Very, very obvious deal that showed up to me. Feel like it showed up to you too. This is a pretty wild one. Can Luka show up here and redeem himself a little bit? He's one of the best basketball players on earth. I don't think that there's any doubt to me that there's more potential than what we just saw. But Kyrie Irving led Dallas with just 20 points. Oklahoma City is doing some stifling stuff on defense. And experience be damned to a certain extent. Oklahoma City, young, really playing well. I think it's going to potentially matter in a Minnesota series or a Denver series. Again, I don't want to jump the gun too early on my Minnesota Timberwolves. I can't breathe even thinking about it. But we've got Dallas now as 5-point dogs in this one. Taking a look at that seems interesting. Again, a 1.5 correction. lot of reactions to what happens in the game previous, as it should. We get to see rotations. We get to see who's looking healthy, what the matchups look like specifically. But Dallas gets to make some adjustments here. And as good as Daniel Gafford was at protecting the rim, there were some dead minutes in there for sure, because they really just can't have him step out and knock down shots. He had 5 blocks. He was phenomenal in that department. Best starter on the floor at -2, but have to do some figuring out of how to incorporate a Tim Hardaway Jr., Josh Green. Again, he played 25 minutes off the bench. And then Derek Lively, just 13 minutes, was very, very surprising to me in a spot where I thought he kind of fit the mold of somebody who could definitely handle Chet Holmgren to some extent. Defensively had been the better between him and Derek Lively in the previous series. So something to just note of there, talking through the game 1 matchups. Again, do you think Luka is going to go out and just have 19 points this time around? I doubt it. If you don't think that that's going to change, you should probably be jamming that under and do nothing else. Just jam the under there. But let's start in the lean department here, friends. Dallas OKC for this game too. I think the under 219 is at least intriguing. Didn't have a total from the previous one. We obviously jammed a total in that Knicks and Indiana game 1. Didn't end up playing it in game 2, sadly, as it is just going monstrously over here in this first half. Just monstrously over. 11 points. Indiana's up. Questionable to return Jalen Brunson with that foot injury. That's a wild run out. But I don't think that we can really fire this one up too much, mainly because I do expect Dallas to play a lot better basketball game. They were 34.3% from 3, which is, whatever. But sub 40% from the field, wild there. You had Oklahoma City 45.7% from 3. I don't think I can necessarily be taking an under here. I don't know. It kind of is push-pull situation. I've got this at 218. Again, this is more of just like an alert to throw up there. If it moves to 220, 221 for whatever reason, we can start to at least look at a small play there. But my only play that I currently have from this entire game is this one. And let me just tell you, it's probably uncomfortable. And not just because he's an uncomfortable human being. If you don't know what I'm talking about, Google it. But Josh Giddey, 7.5 points. I like the over here. We saw 17 minutes for him as they went to more minutes for Cason Wallace and I almost said Andrew. Aaron Wiggins, 23 minutes, 3 for 4 from 3, ballistic, plus 18, was phenomenal for them off the bench. And because he was phenomenal in that first rotation, Josh Giddey didn't have a lot of court time there in that second half, and then it got into blowout run, and they don't generally play a lot of Josh Giddey come blowout run. It's Cason Wallace to close out games and stuff like that. So if this game's more competitive, I do think that there's minutes that are going to get stripped away there, but I want to throw this one in at least too. 7 minutes for Gordon Hayward in game 1. I predict 0 minutes for Gordon Hayward in game 2. He did not look good, did not look correct to me, and he's slow, not very agile here at this stage of his career. Maybe he'll get dusted off for a couple of minutes, sympathy minutes there in that end of the first quarter, beginning second quarter. But for the most part, see a lot of scenarios where Gordon Hayward doesn't play in this one, and it becomes more of a 9-man rotation. Isaiah Joe found himself some minutes. Wiggins, Wallace, and Jalen Williams, not the E-N, the Y-I-N, Jalen Williams, yeah. But Josh Giddey, 7.5 points. I've got him around 11, and the only reason that I'm not making that the lock is that even though it's a larger disparity than I would generally have, again, 3.5 points, it's a giant disparity. The floor is so very, very obvious to me, where we just saw Wiggins play awesome, and maybe we're not going to see Giddey not start. They've been doing that the entire season. There's no reason to change that now, but you might just see beginning first quarter, beginning third quarter rotation, and this number already factors that in. So it's a range of outcomes type thing. I like a half unit play on Josh Giddey there. As for a lock, I have none for you here in this spot. I think these lines are just about perfect. Again, the total, if this goes up a little bit, we can entertain that. Dallas +5 would be a lean for me. That's where I set this line to begin with, but then you have to beat the VIG. So there's really no point in trying to force a bad play here. If you see something, again, Luka Doncic, triple-double, we can take a look. Kyrie Irving, 30 and 5, single game parlay style, the way that we did with Dante DiVincenzo. There are options available to us. But right now, when I'm looking at the board, everything's already been bet into plays based off of game 1 information, and it looks pretty efficient to me. Let's get at it. And that does it for another edition of Lindy's Leans, Likes, and Locks. You know what to do. Go to that comment section below. Let me know your favorite plays that exist on the board for this lovely little two-gamer we have before us here on Thursday. Check out BetMGM. Check out OddsShopper. I'll be there in that premium Discord, usually talking baseball this time of season, but I'm watching NBA every day. I'm doing the NBA live before lock on Stokastic, talking the fantasy for the people. You guys can check that out, too. If you have betting questions, hit me up there or on X at Eric Lindquist. Thank you, producer Jacob. Good luck to your Celtics. And hey, kind of my Celtics here lately. I've been betting them so damn much. Again, half unit there. Don't know what to make about the Jared Allen thing, but Donovan Mitchell, we're taking that under. Until next time, friends, I'm Eric Lindquist. Best of luck in the NBA streets on Thursday.